Going through hell, keep going is also a famous maxim, often attributed to Winston Churchill, that emphasizing that when you experience severe hardship, pain, or failure, or your literal rock bottom, you do not stop there. Because if you're in hell, why would you stop there? Because think logically, nobody wants to be in hell. So if you are in hell, then don't stop. Just go, go, go. And one must just persevere rather than stop and stay in that negative situation. Stopping while in a difficult situation prolongs the suffering, while moving forward creates momentum towards better days and better situations. So if you are in hell, then don't stop, just keep going, bet everything you have on getting out of there. Because there is nothing that feels as good as finally realizing that you got yourself out of that hole and nobody helped you. Because oftentimes, if you are at rock bottom or if you are in hell, then not many people are willing to help you. It's very important to heal, even if you think you are out of hell or rock bottom, because rock bottom is gonna be the best place you've ever been. If you are at rock bottom, you are gonna have nothing to lose. Like literally, there is gonna be nothing that you could lose or that is gonna be more valuable to you than getting out of there. That is the place that people grow. So I've heard this story where there was a millionaire. He made his millions of dollars, and one day he lost all his fortune. And then his friends asked him, "What are you gonna do?" And he said, "If I did it once, I'm gonna do it again." So he refused to give up because he had nothing to lose. He just decided that his mindset is gonna be that he done it once, so he will do it once again. And he did it. He did actually get his company to be bigger and better, even though he lost everything at one point. So the moral of the story is that you should not stop in hell. If you are experiencing something horrible, I don't know, you lost your child, you couldn't get into your dream university, you lost your job, you basically lost your apartment or your house, you are going through a divorce, there's nothing that can stop you there. You just need to get out of there, and that is going to be the only thing that you focus on. Trust me. So there are 7 stages of healing. There is awareness, where you identify triggers and emotions. So when you are going through hell, you just, even when you get out of there, you can see how it impacts your daily life. Then you acknowledge it, so you recognize the pain, you accept it. Then when you accept it, the situation and feelings just become normal to you in some way. Feeling the pain is the next step, where you allow yourself, to sit and experience difficult emotions rather than running away from all that stuff that has been haunting you. Because when you accept it and when you face it head on, you are going to be done with it so much quicker than any other way. You just have to let yourself feel. That is also why I say that if you need to cry, then you just cry, because bottling up all your emotions is not gonna do you any good in the long run, and you are not gonna be happier than before if you bottle up your emotions. So facing them head on and not running away may seem super hard, and it is, but it's the only way you can really accept what's happened. So then we have grieving. So you mourn your losses related to the experience, but also you mourn the past version of yourself, the person that lost everything, the person that couldn't accept that. You grieve and bury all the emotions and all the past versions of yourself, because if you don't, there's no room for new. There's no room for people that are bigger and better in your life. So you just have to accept and release all these past versions of yourself, these people, and everything, even the experiences related to that. Then there is forgiveness. So you let go of resentment, including the one towards yourself and the past versions of yourself that made the mistakes, that couldn't deal with everything as you could do it now, because now you have a lot more experience, you have a lot more of wisdom, because every hardship serves a purpose, even if you cannot see it right now. And then the last step is moving forward. So embrace growth and set new goals, because you accepted and grieved and felt the pain, acknowledged, you had awareness, and you forgave yourself for everything that happened to you or because of you. Because healing is the process of restoring damaged tissue, organs, or biological system as it was first identified or defined by scientists, but it's also described as returning to a state of wholeness, harmony, and well-being, which is beautiful because it covers physical recovery like wounds. So you just need to remember that every wound will repair and will become a scar one day that will remind you of your resilience. And mental, emotional restoration. So effective healing typically requires time, patience, and often a combination of care techniques. So if you feel like you could maybe benefit from therapy, I think it's very important to invest in yourself, because therapy can bring you a sense of peace, forgiveness, or really anything. But if you choose self-healing, it's a really long and oftentimes a long journey. So it involves pinpointing areas of your life where you face pain, trauma, or daily stressors. And after identifying these, it entails developing daily practices to support healing. How long it takes will vary from one person to another, but it's important to recognize that it is a process, one that isn't meant to happen overnight. And there is this doctor that emphasizes that self-healing is a journey, not a destination. And it's very important to remember that, especially when you're starting, because people can be impatient and they really aren't compassionate with themselves. But as they explore self-healing practices, they just find what resonates with them. So she also emphasizes that you should not undertake the self-healing process without help. It's a journey that you do not need to take alone because we are wired for connection, she says, and that is very important. So self-healing doesn't mean isolating yourself or punishing yourself. It just simply means tuning in a different way of doing the same thing. So there are some self-healing practices or self-soothing practices that I personally love, and so many people around me do too. So meditation is a really good one. So if you add it to your daily routine, it serves as a quieting and mindful meditation. Breathing are just effective ways to manage stress and increase self-awareness. I love journaling because writing down feelings and thoughts, it just reduces my anxiety, and it is shown that it reduces depression and PTSD in some studies, which is also very great because so many people just do not realize that writing your thoughts down can be so powerful. There has been this experiment where people wrote down their to-dos in the morning and in the evening, and the people that wrote it down in the evening were able to fall asleep much better, and the people in the morning tended to have a much more productive day. So ideally, you should journal in the morning and in the evening, in my opinion. Then you can incorporate physical activity into your day, which is so great because it boosts your mood and decreases stress. Physical activity also releases hormones of happiness, which is very important, especially if you're going through some hardships. So I took on Taekwondo when I was in a new school and I struggled to find myself there, and it has been the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and I just love this sport, and it's been my passion for the last 2 years. So I am deeply grateful for choosing that. Then you can ensure that you're sticking to a healthy diet, because nourishing your body with balanced meals provides the nutrition and energy needed for you to feel mentally and emotionally well. Then emphasize sleep hygiene, which involves prioritizing sleep, having a relaxing bedtime routine, and getting adequate sleep for your body each night. And if you'd like me to talk more about sleep hygiene, I would be so happy to do so because it's a very interesting topic. So if you do, then just drop a comment or like. Then learn to set boundaries, which may involve saying no when necessary and prioritizing your own emotional well-being. And it's really, really, really important in my opinion, because that is just really important, because if you can set boundaries, it will just upgrade your life so much. And then there are 10 actionable steps for cultivating self-love, which is very important in self-healing. So stop all self-criticism, practice self-compassion and forgiveness. So treat yourself with kindness and forgive your past mistakes. Set healthy boundaries once again to protect your peace and honor your worth by saying no to things that drain or violate your integrity. Prioritize self-care. Dedicate regular time to nurture your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Embrace your imperfections, so accept all aspects of your life, including weaknesses and past mistakes. Cultivate gratitude. Actively acknowledge what you are grateful for. Surround yourself with positivity, so connect with people who accept and challenge you to grow while limiting time with those who drain your energy. Discover and act on your needs, so take responsibility for your own happiness by identifying your personal love languages, which I can also talk about in another episode, and fulfill them rather than waiting for others to do so. Let go of comparison, which is very important to focus on your journey and stop comparing your life to others, because everybody has a unique and really important time for everything, and we cannot compare ourselves on our timeline with anybody else, especially in the day of social media. It's very important to remember the fact that we are all different human beings. And lastly, live intentionally and confidently. So create a vision for your life, take ownership of your decisions, trust your intuition in all situations. So yeah, thank you so much for listening today, and I would like to say a special thank you to my first ever subscriber. I'm so thankful to have you, and I'm gonna see you in a week. With love, so you can only go up from here. So rock bottom is the place where nobody wants to find themselves, but so many people do. And it refers to the lowest possible point in a person's life. Emotions or a situation often characterized by extreme despair, failure, or in economics, the lowest price level ever. It signifies a point where things cannot get any worse, frequently acting as a catalyst for change or recovery. And that is why rock bottom is the